All right, let's dive into this YouTube stuff. We're looking at the YouTube formula by Durrell Eves. You know, the guy who's worked with, like, Mr. Beast and all those big names.
Yeah, really big.
So we're basically getting some insider secrets here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
From what I hear, this book gives us a peek behind the scenes of how YouTube evolved. It's kind of crazy to think it started as a dating site.
I know. Can you believe that? A dating site.
Wait, really? A dating site? I never knew that.
Yeah, back in 2005.
Wow.
The founders, Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jod Karim, they wanted to make it easier to share videos.
Okay.
And they thought, hey, let's make a dating site with video profiles.
Makes sense, I guess.
But here's the thing.
Right.
People weren't uploading dating profiles.
Oh, really?
They were sharing everything but that funny videos of their pets, you name it.
So basically, people kind of hijacked the platform and turned it into something totally different.
Yeah. They were the original YouTubers, you could say. And the founders were smart. They realized that people wanted this platform for sharing their own stuff, so they changed their focus using, data analysis
Hope.
to see what people were actually doing on the site.
So it was a smart move to pay attention to what people actually wanted instead of forcing it.
Totally. It's a great lesson.
Yeah.
Adapt to what the users want.
I've always wondered how YouTube went from random videos to people making a living off of it.
Oh, yeah. That's a big shift.
Yeah.
Well, in 2007, they introduced the YouTube Partner Program.
Okay.
And that changed everything.
How so?
Because suddenly creators could earn money from their videos.
Through ads.
Through ads, yeah. And ad revenue sharing.
So that's when it became a real career.
Exactly. The make money on YouTube dream became a possibility.
I bet that brought a ton of new people to the platform.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Everyone wanted in on that.
You got it. Not just creators, but,
Yeah.
advertisers, too.
Oh, yeah, of course.
YouTube became a hot new place to reach people.
Right.
But then that created a need for, more organization management.
Okay.
And that's how we got multi-channel networks, or MCNs.
What are those exactly? I've always been curious about them.
Think of them like talent agencies for YouTubers.
Right.
They kind of acted as the middleman between the creators, advertisers, and YouTube itself. They helped with things like, growing your audience, production stuff,
right,
even getting brand deals.
Oh, okay.
So they were managing a lot behind the scenes.
Wow, so they were like the puppet masters.
In a way, yeah. Some of them got really powerful.
Interesting.
But as YouTube grew up, so to speak, the power shifted back to the creators.
Right.
And it became clear that just uploading videos wasn't enough.
Got it.
You needed a strategy.
Right, like a plan.
And that's where the algorithm comes in.
The algorithm, it's like this mythical creature.
I know, right? Everyone talks about it.
But I still don't fully understand it.
Well, for starters, there isn't just one algorithm.
Right.
There's multiple ones.
Oh, wow.
And they're constantly changing, too.
No wonder people are confused.
It is confusing.
But what do they actually do?
The main thing is they all try to keep viewers happy.
Makes sense.
The longer people watch, the more ads they see, the more money YouTube makes.
Right. It's all connected.
And one of the most important things is watch time.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. You know how those old AI programs, they just kept showing similar videos?
Yeah.
But that got boring. People got tired of it. So now the algorithm suggests what Durrell calls adjacent videos.
Adjacent videos?
Yeah. They're related, but different enough to keep you interested.
Okay.
So if you watch a video about baking a cake, the algorithm might suggest a video about frosting techniques.
Okay.
Or maybe even other dessert recipes.
Interesting.
They all tie into your original interest.
But would keep you from getting bored.
Exactly. It's like a personal DJ mixing up the entertainment.
I like that analogy.
But here's the best part.
What's that?
This focus on keeping viewers happy, it helps both creators and YouTube.
How so?
Well, if creators make great content that people love, the algorithm will show it to more people.
So it's a win-win.
Totally. But the question is...
What's that?
How do you make content that both the algorithm and people like?
That's the big question. How do you balance, creativity and what the algorithm wants?
Durrell has this great saying, content is king, but strategy is queen.
I love that.
It's about more than just making videos. You got to be smart about it.
Okay.
He calls it the data-driven, human-centered formula.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
It's about using data, but also keeping humans in mind.
Right, like not forgetting about the actual viewers.
Exactly. And to do that, he suggests asking yourself 4 questions. the 4 Ws.
The 4 Ws. Okay, I'm intrigued.
The first one is who.
Okay, like, who are you making these videos for?
Exactly. You need to know your audience.
Like their age, interests.
All of that, yeah. The demographics.
Got it.
The second W is why.
Why are they watching?
Exactly. What are they looking for? Entertainment, information, inspiration.
Okay, so we've got who and why. What are the other two?
The third one is
What they're watching, the content itself.
Right. The topics you cover, the style of your videos.
Okay.
And the final W is when.
When you post.
Yeah. The timing and how often you upload.
Okay, that makes sense.
Figuring that out can be tricky.
Yeah, it's all about finding what works best.
But by asking these 4 Ws, creators can really understand what's working and what's not.
And then they can use that data to improve.
Exactly. It's all about making smarter choices.
Now, Daryl also mentioned something called a persona breakdown, right?
He does.
And this is about going even deeper into understanding your audience, right?
That's right.
Tell me more about it.
It goes beyond just the basic demographics.
Right.
It's like creating a fictional character based on real data.
Okay, I'm listening.
You start with the demographics, age, gender, location, all that.
Right.
But then you dive deeper.
Deeper. Oh.
You look at their psychographics.
Psychographics.
Yeah, like their values, their interests.
Okay.
What motivates them? What are they afraid of?
It's like you're getting into their heads.
You got it. It's like building a whole profile of your ideal viewer.
If you really understand them.
Inside and out.
I'm starting to see how powerful this could be.
It's a whole new level of audience understanding.
It's not just numbers on a spreadsheet anymore.
Exactly.
It's real people with real feelings and motivations.
That's right.
Wow.
Daryl even talks about understanding your viewers' micro moments.
Micro moments. What are those?
Think about those times when you just grab your phone.
Like when I'm waiting for the bus.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe you're in line at the store and you quickly search for something, or you're checking social media.
Right.
Those are micro moments.
So it's about recognizing that people consume content in those little bursts throughout the day.
Precisely.
And you need to capture their attention fast.
You got it. He gives the example of his daughter who plans trips on her phone.
Really? Like booking flights and hotels?
Everything. She finds hotels, restaurants.
Right on the spot.
All in real time.
That's how people do things now.
It is. And by understanding these micro moments, creators can make content that people actually need right when they need it.
Okay, this persona breakdown thing, it's like a cheat code for connecting with your audience.
It really is.
We've covered so much already.
I know, it's a lot.
YouTube's history, the algorithm, and knowing your audience.
But we're just getting started.
There's more.
Oh, yeah. In part 2, we're diving into the nuts and bolts of making content that people actually click on.
Sounds good. Let's take a break and come back for more YouTube secrets.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, we're back. Ready to uncover more of these YouTube secrets.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So we left off talking about understanding your audience, building those personas.
Right, getting into their heads.
Exactly. That's key. But then we need to make content that actually gets clicked on.
Yeah, that's kind of important.
It's huge. And that's where Daryl takes us next in the book.
Okay, so what's the secret sauce?
Well, a lot of it comes down to, like, the psychology of grabbing attention.
Okay.
He talks about stuff like, you know, the rule of thirds and color psychology.
Wait, the rule of thirds, isn't that for, like, photography?
Yeah, but it applies to thumbnails, too.
Oh, interesting.
Think about it. When you're scrolling through YouTube, your brain's making super fast decisions about what to click.
Right. You're not really thinking about it too hard.
Exactly. So your thumbnail needs to be eye-catching.
So there's more to it than just picking a random screenshot.
Oh, yeah, way more. Daryl says the rule of thirds helps you create a balanced thumbnail that just, like, draws people in.
Okay. And what about color psychology? I've heard of that, but...
Colors can evoke certain emotions, you know.
Yeah, like red means danger or something.
Well, red can also mean excitement or urgency. So a lot of YouTubers use red thumbnails.
To get people to stop scrolling.
Exactly. It's like, hey, look at me.
So it's not just about picking your favorite color?
No, it's strategic. Like, blues and greens can be calming, maybe for educational videos, while yellows and oranges might be good for something more, like, energetic.
So there's a science to it.
Definitely. And then, of course, there's the title.
Oh, yeah, the title's super important.
It's like the headline for your video needs to be catchy, clear, and make people want to click.
Right, and not too long and complicated.
Daryl has this test he uses for titles.
Oh, what's that?
He asks if it's easy to remember, simple to explain, and easy to share.
I like that. It makes sense.
A lot of titles out there are just like too much.
Way too long.
Exactly. Keep it simple. Think about what you'd click on.
Right. Put yourself in the viewer's shoes.
Exactly. Now, beyond the title and thumbnail, Doral talks about the actual content of the video.
Okay, yeah, that's important too.
And he introduces this framework called the story arc.
Story arc? Isn't that for movies?
It is, but it applies to YouTube too.
Really? I never thought about that.
Doral says every good story needs a beginning, middle, and end.
Even if it's just a short YouTube video?
Even then. He says you got to start with a hook.
Something that grabs their attention right away.
Exactly, like a dramatic opening or a question that makes them curious.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Then you need to keep them engaged throughout the video.
So it's not enough to just have a strong start.
Nope, you got to keep the momentum going. Doral calls these re-engagement moments.
Re-engagement, okay.
He talks about using like pattern interrupts.
Pattern interrupts. What are those?
Things that kind of shake things up a bit, keep the viewer on their toes.
So don't be predictable.
Right. Then you have the payload.
The payload. Sounds intense.
It's the core message of your video, the information you're trying to get across.
So that's the main point of the video.
Exactly. And finally, you need a good wrap-up.
Okay, so like a conclusion that ties everything together.
Yeah. Make the viewer feel satisfied.
So even though YouTube videos are short, there's still a whole structure to it.
Exactly. Thinking about the story arc can really elevate your content.
I'm starting to see that. Now, one thing I always struggle with is feedback.
Feedback? Like from other people.
Yeah, it's helpful, but also kind of scary.
I know what you mean. But Doral says it's super important.
Okay.
He suggests finding what he calls mastermind groups.
Mastermind groups?
Yeah, like a small group of other creators who can give you feedback, support, and keep you accountable.
So it's like your own little YouTube support system.
Exactly. He tells the story about Steve Yeager, the guy behind Shot of the Yeagers.
Oh, I've heard of them. They're huge.
Yeah, millions of subscribers.
Wow.
Well, Doral told him to find a mastermind group when he was just starting out.
Yeah, and it worked.
Big time. He connected with 2 other creators, and they all saw massive growth after that.
Wow, that's a great example of collaboration.
It really is. Sometimes we need that outside perspective.
Totally. Now, Doral talks about a lot of examples in the book.
He does.
But one that stood out to me was the Wendy's Where's the Beef commercial.
Oh, that's a classic.
I know, right? Those little old ladies were hilarious.
They were great. And Doral breaks down how that commercial actually uses all these content principles we've been talking about.
Wait, really? Even a short commercial like that?
Yep. He points out how it has a great hook.
The old ladies, yeah.
Exactly. And then he uses re-engagement, keeping you watching with the dialogue.
And then the payload is clear. Wendy's has more beef than the other guys?
Exactly. And it ends with that super memorable line.
Where's the beef?
Yep. It's stuck with us for decades.
It really has. So
Well,
it shows that even something short can be a masterclass in storytelling.
Totally. And Doral says these principles apply to any kind of video.
Whether it's a 30-second ad or a 30-minute documentary.
It's all about the structure.
Okay, I'm starting to see that.
Yeah.
Now, what about building a community? I know that's important on YouTube.
It's huge. Doral has this concept called primal branding.
Primal branding. Sounds intense.
It is, in a way. It's about tapping into those instincts that make us want to belong to a group.
Like a tribe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to make people feel like they're part of something.
More than just a YouTube channel.
Right. And Doral uses a really cool case study to show how this works.
Ooh, I love a good case study. Tell me more.
It's the story of The Chosen.
The Chosen.
Yeah.
That TV show about Jesus.
The one and only.
I've heard it's super popular.
It is, especially among like a faith-based audiences. And Doral was heavily involved in their marketing.
No way.
Yeah, he helped them build their audience.
Wow. Okay.
And he uses them as an example of how to apply primal branding.
Okay, so how does it work?
Well, there are 7 fundamentals to primal branding.
Okay, hit me with them.
The first one is the creation story.
Like the origin story of the channel.
Exactly. Every channel has a story behind it, why it exists.
Okay.
And The Chosen was very open about their story.
What was it?
They wanted to create a different kind of portrayal of Jesus.
Different how?
More authentic, you know, not like the typical Hollywood stuff.
So they were transparent about their goal.
Yeah, and that allowed the audience to connect with them on a deeper level.
Right, because they shared their vision.
Exactly.
Huh.
The second fundamental is the creed.
Creed. Like a belief system.
Exactly. It's about defining what you stand for, your values.
Okay, so your audience knows what to expect.
Right. The Chosen emphasized their commitment to staying true to the story.
Which resonated with their audience.
Exactly. It created this sense of shared values.
Okay, so we've got the creation story and the creed. What's next?
The third fundamental is icons.
Icons, like visual symbols.
Exactly. Think of your logo, your colors, your fonts.
So it's about creating a visual identity.
You got it. And the Chosen used imagery that was both familiar and unique.
Okay, how so?
They used, like, traditional depictions of Jesus, but with a modern twist.
So they were recognizable, but also fresh.
Exactly. Now, the fourth fundamental is rituals.
Rituals, like specific things you do.
Yeah, the actions and behaviors that your community engages in.
Okay.
The Chosen involved their audience in the creation process, crowdfunding.
Oh, wow. So the audience was literally invested in the show.
Literally. They help make it happen.
That's amazing. It creates such a strong bond.
It does. Then there's the fifth fundamental, lexicon.
Lexicon. That sounds complicated.
It's basically about language.
Language.
Yeah, creating a shared vocabulary that's unique to your community.
Like inside jokes or something.
Kinda. The Chosen used phrases like binge Jesus and get used to different.
I've seen those. They're catchy.
And they make people feel like they're in the know.
Right, like they're part of something special.
Exactly. Okay, now the sixth fundamental might seem a little weird.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's called non-believers.
Non-believers? You mean like people who don't like your content?
Yeah, basically.
Why would you want to define those people?
It's not about being mean.
Okay.
It's about drawing boundaries, clarifying what your community is not.
So it's about being true to your values, even if it means turning some people off.
Exactly. The Chosen was very clear that they weren't making a traditional, sanitized version of Jesus.
Right. They wanted to challenge expectations.
And that appealed to a specific audience.
Okay, that makes sense. And the final fundamental?
It's the leader.
The leader. Seems pretty straightforward.
It is, but it's not always about one single person.
Oh, okay.
It's about having someone or a group of people who embody the values of the community.
So they're like the face of the channel.
In a way, yeah. For The Chosen, it could be the creator, the director.
Or even the actor who plays Jesus.
Exactly. It's about having someone who represents what the brand is all about.
Okay, these 7 fundamentals are fascinating.
They are.
I'm seeing how they can be used to build a community around any type of content.
Absolutely. They're universal principles.
Now, before we move on, there's one more piece of advice from Doral that I really liked.
Oh, what's that?
He talks about the importance of having fun.
Oh, that's so important.
It's easy to get caught up in the numbers, the algorithm, all that.
I know, right? It can be stressful.
But Doral reminds us that we got to enjoy the process.
Because when you're having fun, it shows in your content.
And people can feel that energy.
Exactly. Passion is contagious.
I needed to hear that. This whole deep dive has been so insightful.
I know. There's so much to learn from Doral's book.
But there's still more to cover, right?
Oh, yeah. In part 3, we'll get into some more practical stuff.
Like what?
Optimizing your videos, launching them, promoting them.
Okay, yeah, that's the stuff I need to know.
And we'll dive into some more of those amazing case studies.
Sounds good. Let's take a break and come back for the final part of our YouTube adventure.
We're back for the final part of our YouTube deep dive. We talked about the algorithm, content creation, building a community, and
Yeah, it's been a lot.
It has. But now Doral gets into the really practical stuff in his book.
The stuff that actually helps us get our videos seen.
Exactly. And he really stresses that, YouTube's all about humans.
Right. Not just robots and algorithms.
Yeah, the algorithms are important, but we can't forget about the people watching.
So how do we optimize our videos for, like, both the algorithm and humans?
Well, Doral says thumbnails are a big deal.
Thumbnails. We talked about those earlier.
We did, but he says 90% of the top performing videos use custom thumbnails.
Wow, 90%. That's a lot.
It is. And he suggests, using both images and text.
Okay.
Close-ups of faces, keeping the design clean.
Right. Make it easy to understand.
Yeah, the thumbnail should basically tell a story on its own.
Like a mini poster for your video.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to experiment with different versions.
Different versions.
Yeah, like A/B testing.
Oh, right. To see what works best.
You can try different colors, different images, different text.
That's smart. Okay, so we've got our thumbnail. What about the title?
The title's crucial. Doral says keep it concise.
Short and sweet?
Yeah. Front load your keywords.
Keywords, right, so people can find it.
And think about what would make you click on it.
Right, put yourself in the viewer's shoes.
Exactly. And don't forget the description.
Oh, yeah, the description. I usually just write a couple of sentences.
I know a lot of people do.
But I guess there's more to it than that.
There is. It's like a mini web page for your video.
Okay.
Use keywords, links to other videos, your social media.
So it's all about giving people more information.
Yep, helping them find more of your content.
Got it. So our video's optimized and ready to go. What now?
Now it's launch time.
I usually just hit publish and hope for the best.
A lot of creators do, but Doral says you need a strategy.
A strategy? For launching a video?
Yeah, you want to build anticipation before it goes live.
Ooh, okay. How do we do that?
Tease it on social media, send emails to your list.
Get people excited about it.
Exactly. And think about the timing.
The timing. Like when you post it?
Yeah, if you have a global audience,
right,
you want to make sure it's accessible to people in different time zones.
I never thought about that.
It can make a big difference.
So we launched the video, we're promoting it. What else?
Keep an eye on your analytics.
Analytics.
Yeah, the data YouTube gives you.
Right, like views and watch time.
All of that. Pay attention to like average view duration,
okay,
click-through rate, audience retention.
So we can see how people are actually interacting with the video.
Exactly. And use that data to improve.
Make adjustments, see what's working.
That's the key. Now, Doral shares some really inspiring case studies in his book.
Oh, yeah. He's worked with some big names.
He has. One that really stood out to me was Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast, the king of YouTube stunts.
He is. And Doral was actually involved in the #TeamTrees project.
#TeamTrees. That was huge.
It was. Remember how they planted 20 million trees?
Yeah. I donated to that.
Well, Doral helped Mr. Beast get hundreds of other YouTubers involved.
Wow. So it was a real team effort.
It was. They raised over $22 million.
That's incredible.
It shows how YouTube can be used for good.
Right, to make a real impact on the world.
Exactly. And Doral also talks about Jackie Aina, the beauty influencer.
Oh, I love Jackie Aina. She's so real.
She is. And her success shows the power of authenticity.
Being yourself, connecting with your audience.
Exactly. Yeah. And he has another great case study about a business.
A business? What kind of business?
The Missouri Star Quilting Company.
Wait, a quilting company? On YouTube?
I know, it sounds kind of random.
It does.
But they used YouTube to grow their business like crazy.
Really? So any type of business can find success on YouTube?
Doral says so. Okay. And as we wrap up this deep dive...
Already? I feel like we just scratched the surface.
I know, there's so much in this book.
But I've learned a lot.
Me too. And one thing I'll take away from it is that YouTube success is a journey.
Not a destination, right?
Exactly. It's about constantly learning, adapting, and evolving.
Doral's whole try, fail, analyze, adjust thing.
Yeah, it's about embracing the process.
And not being afraid to mess up along the way.
Exactly. As long as you're learning and growing, you're doing great.
I love that. It takes the pressure off.
It does. Now, before we go, I want to leave you with something to think about.
Okay, hit me.
What unique perspective or experience can you bring to YouTube?
Ooh, that's a good one. It's about finding your voice, your niche.
Exactly. What makes you different? What do you have to offer the world?
I'll definitely be thinking about that. This has been an amazing deep dive.
I agree. Doral's book is a goldmine of information.
For anyone who wants to make it on YouTube.
Whether you're a creator or a business, there's something in there for everyone.
Well, thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of YouTube success.
It's been fun. We hope you learned a lot and are ready to go out there and create something amazing.
Until next time.